The lights dim, 70,000 voices scream in a primal, synchronized frequency. On a stage, a woman stands in a costume made of 10,000 hand-sewn crystals, holding a guitar and a microphone. To the world, she is Taylor Swift, the heartbroken poet, the girl who was bullied in high school, the friend who finally found her voice. But if you look past the glitter, if you ignore the catchy bridge and the emotional lyrics, you see something else entirely. You see the most sophisticated, high-functioning corporate machine in the history of the music industry. Today, we are not talking about songs. We are talking about power. This is the dark history of the Taylor Swift monopoly. For 2 decades, Taylor Swift has built her empire on a single, brilliant psychological foundation, the narrative of the victim. From the very beginning, her story was sold as the underdog fighting against the giants. It started with the innocent country girl being interrupted by Kanye West on a global stage. In that moment, Taylor didn't just win a trophy, she won the ultimate PR asset, permanent sympathy. But as the years went by, the innocent girl narrative evolved into something far more aggressive. She didn't just react to her enemies, she began to curate them. To understand Taylor Swift, you have to understand the Roy Cohn-style tactics her team employs. When she feels slighted, she doesn't just write a song, she launches a multi-platform campaign designed to socially and professionally liquidate her target. Whether it's Katy Perry, Kim Kardashian, or her numerous ex-boyfriends, the pattern is always the same. She frames herself as the betrayed party, drops Easter eggs for her fans to find, and then steps back as her millions of followers, her digital militia, swarm the target with relentless cyberbullying. It is a brilliant form of plausible deniability. She never tells her fans to attack. She just makes sure they know exactly who the villain is. But the most fascinating part of the Swift machine is the parasocial engineering. Unlike other stars who maintain a distance, Taylor spent years inviting fans to her homes for secret sessions, baking them cookies, and personally replying to their Tumblr posts. This wasn't just kindness, it was a masterclass in brand loyalty. By making her fans feel like her best friends, she turned them into stakeholders in her success. They don't just buy her music, they feel a moral obligation to protect her profit margins. They are the only army in the world that will defend a billionaire's carbon footprint, or a corporate licensing deal as if it were a personal favor to them. This is how you build a monopoly that is immune to criticism. You make the criticism feel like an attack on the fans themselves.
In 2019, the world was told a story of a young woman being robbed of her life's work. The villain was Scooter Braun, a high-powered music executive who purchased the label that owned Taylor's first 6 albums. Swift took to social media, claiming she was stripped of her legacy, and that Braun was a bully who had orchestrated a manipulative takeover. The internet erupted in fury. Hashtags trended, Braun received death threats, but behind the emotional posts lies a much colder corporate reality. In the world of professional music, masters are assets. When Taylor left her old label, Big Machine, she knew they would eventually be sold. Sources close to the deal stated she was offered a chance to earn back her masters one by one, but she chose to walk away because the terms didn't suit her long-term vision. She didn't lose her music in a surprise attack. She lost a business negotiation. But the truth of a contract isn't as compelling as the story of a girl being bullied by powerful men. So, she did something unprecedented. She decided to re-record her entire catalog. By releasing Taylor's version of her old hits, she didn't just reclaim her art. She committed an act of scorched earth corporate warfare. She pressured streaming services and radio stations to prioritize her new versions, effectively destroying the market value of the assets Scooter Braun had just purchased for $300 million. It was a genius move that proved Taylor is a better capitalist than any of the men she was fighting. She convinced her fans to buy the exact same products twice, framing it as an act of feminist liberation rather than a shrewd financial maneuver. But while she was fighting for her legacy, another shadow was growing. In an age where Taylor positions herself as a voice for the youth and a defender of the planet's future, the data tells a different story. In 2022, a flight tracking report revealed that Taylor Swift was the #1 celebrity polluter in the world. Her private jet produced over 8,000 tons of CO2 in less than a year. Some of her flights lasted as little as 13 minutes, trips that could have been taken in a car. The PR machine's response was immediate and calculated: distract and redirect. They claimed she loaned the jet to others, as if that changed the total emissions. When a college student began tracking her flights using public data, her lawyers threatened him with legal action, claiming it was a safety issue. It is a classic move from the Swift playbook. When you are caught in a contradiction, label the observer a threat. She didn't change her habits. She just tried to silence the person pointing them out. The era of accountability apparently doesn't apply to the Queen of Pop. We are now living in the era of total monopoly. The Eras Tour wasn't just a concert series. It was an economic event that moved the GDP of entire countries. But as Taylor Swift reached billionaire status, the mask began to slip. Behind the songs about the man and the anti-hero, we see a figure who has successfully commodified every single aspect of her existence. Every breakup is a product. Every feud is a marketing cycle. Every political statement is timed for maximum brand safety. She has mastered the art of capitalist feminism, the idea that a woman's success is inherently a victory for all women, even if that success involves crushing competitors and exploiting a fanatical base. When other artists release music on the same day as her, she often drops special editions or exclusive variants to ensure they can't reach #1. She doesn't just want to win, she wants to occupy the entire chart. She wants to be the only story being told. This is the dark truth of the Taylor Swift phenomenon. She has built a world where she is untouchable because she has turned her audience into a shield. If you criticize her business ethics, you are a misogynist. If you point out her environmental impact, you are hating on a successful woman. If you question her narrative, the Swifties will find you. She has created a feedback loop where her power justifies itself. The ultimate irony is that Taylor Swift spends her time singing about being the victim of the mastermind, while she is in fact the greatest mastermind of our time. She has convinced millions of people that she is the underdog, even as she sits atop a billion-dollar throne, dictating the terms of the music industry and the news cycle. She has successfully turned the girl next door into a multinational conglomerate that never sleeps, never forgets, and never loses. Is she a villain? No. She is a genius of extreme capitalism. She is the final boss of the attention economy. She has proven that in the modern world, you don't need to be liked by everyone. You just need a loyal enough army to silence everyone else. The dark, unpopular story of Taylor Swift is that the person we think we know through her lyrics doesn't exist. There is only the brand. There is only the machine. And the machine is always winning. Thanks for watching. If you want to see the real stories behind the world's biggest illusions, subscribe to Dark Unpopular Story, because once the music stops, the truth is all that's left.